Most people think they must turn their whole life upside down to lose weight. The truth is, it is the complete opposite. Often, it is the people with the hardest of lives who get the best results. And that is because they implement a system in their life that makes making the better choice the easier option. If you are ready to take back control of your life, like these two men that I'm about to show you, listen to this. My name is John Craig. I'm a nutritionist, I'm an advanced personal trainer, and I'm a NASM accredited hormone coach. I was an ex-oil rig manager and an engineer, and I'm telling you that because I have worked in some of the most extreme conditions under intense pressure. So I fully understand when someone tells me they do not have time. I'm also a parent of 2 boys, and I have run multiple businesses. Now I want to show you 2 of my client results. Now these 2 clients could have had every excuse that you could think of. They both have 4 kids. They both have partners. They both have very hectic jobs. One of them works night shift and the other one works at sea on an oil rig. Now he is working 12 to 15 hour shifts. The other one starts work at 2 a.m. and has to work through to lunchtime. Their kids have nursery, the other kids have school. They also have dogs that need to be walked and multiple other excuses that they could come up with, and they probably have used in the past to avoid them taking back control of their health. Now the reason I want to share these specific stories is they did not turn their whole life upside down. They only implemented our basic strategies from our metabolic acceleration strategy, and they achieved exceptional results over a short time. Phil and I were recently on the BBC to discuss his weight transformation and also to discuss the offshore oil and gas weight restrictions. And I want to show you Chris, who had went from 120 kilograms to 105.6 kilograms in 6 weeks. And I think it is worth noting that Chris is 6'4", 6'5", so he is a tall guy. So we've already discussed how hectic their life is, we've discussed their weight loss in a very short term, and the 2 of them will continue until they reach their goals. Now both of them, massive reduction in belly fat. You'll see in some of the images here, both of them, their clothes fit so much better. They both have much more energy and they are now back going to the gym consistently. They're also doing more steps consistently. They're making better food choices. Both of them are much happier now with what they see on the scale. Both of them are much happier with what they see in the mirror, and both of them are so much happier about how healthier they feel. Now Phil had been eating the wrong foods, lack of activity and working offshore. It can quite easily get caught up where you are making the wrong choices. And Chris had been going to the gym, however with his shift work and a lot going on, non-stop watching kids, sleeping in the afternoon, waking up snacking, he had got in a habit of drifting away from his positive behaviours and he was eating a lot of junk food. So in these 2 scenarios, I'm going to show you 2 different things. Phil did track his food, however, because he was offshore for 4 weeks of it, he was very limited to what he could do. Now you imagine being in the North Sea on an oil rig, 100 and odd miles away from land. You have limited supplies, you can't just go to a shop and you basically have to eat whatever is put in front of you unless you have taken food there with you, like oats, cans of tuna, some fruit, protein shakes, protein bars to help you meet your goals. So when I hear people with excuses that they cannot meet their macro targets, they cannot meet their goals, and they're sitting at home or in an office and they're 2 minutes from a supermarket. I worked at sea for 19 years. I never had any issues. If we can do it at sea, doing it at home is simple. If you are ready and committed and willing to make them changes. Now with Phil, he is a little bit of a fussy eater, so we had a few things we focused on. We improved his sleep, we improved his focus on prioritising protein, we reduced sugar, and we increased his NEAT. So basically his steps were increased. He did go to the gym a few times, and really that was about it. So he was tracking his meals. He'd done that for 4 weeks when he was offshore. He came home for 2 weeks when he was on holiday. And then when he was on holiday, because it was all inclusive and there was food everywhere, all he'd done when he was there was extra activity, focus on water, focus on reducing the sugar, so avoiding some of the sugary drinks like cocktails and things, still able to have some beer and other drinks. Like I said, to lose weight, you do not need to turn your whole life upside down. And while he was at the buffet or other things, he had a massive focus on protein. So not much different to when he was offshore. However, when you're in an all-inclusive resort in Gran Canaria, there is more temptations. So yeah, 128.8 kilograms down to 118 kilograms in 6 weeks. He done so well, he ended up on BBC, as you'll see here. Your weight, you said, has been up and down.
Offshore worker Phil Perry is on a weight loss mission. 2 months ago, he tipped the scales at 128 kilograms, more than 20 stone. Now, 10 kilos down, he knows he has to keep it up or risk being out of a job this time next year.
I think that if I didn't already start, it would be quite a lot of pressure. You know, trying to lose weight as tough as it is. And with the added pressure of you've been given a time limit to now do this, then I think it'd probably be harder, and I think it will be hard for a lot of the guys who work offshore. Sadly, it's just the way that it's going to go, that people will start losing their jobs.
Unions say people must be supported if they're being asked to lose weight, and experts are warning against quick fixes.
From my experience, people generally want to take the easier option. Now, it's a big thing just now, weight loss injections, and it's been sold, I guess online is probably a magic pill that can help people. When you have a whole year, tiny little habit changes that can build your metabolism is a much safer and smarter way of doing this. Okay, what do you think of?
Phil is enjoying his newfound energy. For the thousands of workers like him now looking to shed some pounds, the advice is to get started sooner rather than later. Rebecca Curran reporting Scotland, Aberdeen.
Now, Chris gets up at 2 in the morning, he works till lunchtime, he nips to the gym quickly, he goes home and picks up his kids from nursery. He then has to go and get something to eat, he has to have a nap with the children while they're sleeping, which isn't always easy for an adult just to lie down and fall asleep. And then he has a couple of meals and then it's time for bed for him again. But when he goes to bed, he has a very young baby and he has a 2-year-old. So when he has to go to bed, he has to try and get the kids to go to bed about the same time. Otherwise it's chaos in the house and he wouldn't be able to sleep. So that's not easy, and for me that is every excuse I have heard from many people how they can't do things. So we worked with Chris and we looked at ways how we could make this as easy as possible. Now, he had suggested the soup diet because he didn't want to track his meals, he didn't want to do certain things. So what he worked out is we worked out his macros, we worked out his calories, we looked at what that would be in soup, and we made a smart soup that was a whole meal. So it was chicken based, so mostly chicken, it had lots of vegetables in it, had some rice in it, and it was a complete meal. So he made 5 days of that, I think it was, at a time. He split it up into his different meals throughout the day, put it into tubs, put it in the fridge. So all he had to basically do is eat the pre-weighed soup, and that was him. So he done that for Monday to Friday pretty much, sometimes Saturday, Sunday as well. And he was still snacking and having some other things. So when he's in the van, because he starts work at 2 o'clock in the morning and he's driving most of the day, he does snack in the van just to keep himself alert and keep himself awake. That wasn't tracked either, but he was just smarter with his choices. So rather than snacking on carbohydrates and processed foods, he just was smarter with fruit or whole proteins. So he cut out snacking at night time before he went to bed. He was sitting snacking, watching, TV quickly before he fell asleep, and a little bit more focus on just staying a little bit more active. He was quite active already, and he was someone that's went to the gym for years as well. So a little bit extra muscle mass there helps him lose fat a lot quicker. But in reality, if you looked at everything he changed, all he done is basically made some smart soup and he ate that for 6 weeks. He changed the flavouring, different seasoning, different meat choices and things to keep it a bit more interested, but he didn't care. He just needed something that could help him be successful. So Part of our metabolic acceleration strategy, we have 24 key steps. We also use a 44 panel blood test, and we personalise and look at absolutely everything. Both of these here only implemented maybe 3 or 4 of our, or 4, 5 in Phil's case, of our key principles, and they only implemented them loosely. And it just shows you do not need to turn your whole life upside down. They lost 25 kilograms combined for the two of them, and now they are rapidly getting back on track to where they want to be. So Chris is now getting closer to where he wants to be lean wise, and just focus on going back to his normal meal prep sort of meals. And Phil is wanting to keep getting the weight down because he's very conscious now of the offshore weight restriction, and he wants to be fit, healthy, and in the best shape he can be for his partner and his young children. Now, if you want to take back control of your life and you want the same results as these two men in the video without turning your life upside down, get in touch. We can have a quick consultation, we can see if we're a good fit to work together, and we can personalise a plan that fits you. Now, till the end of November, we still have our Black Friday deal on. We never discount our coaching programs, but with the Black Friday deal, you will get some extra things. Now, I'm a strong believer as you shouldn't be giving people more than what your current customers are. So for my current clients, although they know this, that will also be available to them. The extras are offered for Black Friday. Now, I do speak to people daily, and just like me making this video, because I've been full of the cold the last week, I have been putting it off and putting it off, struggling to speak, and still am a bit. Now, I speak to a lot of people. So one of the biggest problems I am seeing just now, and have seen for a long time, is people are not willing to commit to improve their life. People are not willing to commit to take back control of their health. Now, I do understand it. People think it's going to be a massive change. You're going to turn their life upside down. You're going to take away all the things that they enjoy. Well, that is not the case. For all of our plans, regardless of what one you choose, unless you want extreme goals, you will not be doing anything extreme. Initially, we would like to do a blood test, but again, that's up to you. We would be looking at your lifestyle, we'd be looking at the foods that you like to eat, and we would be developing a plan that fits your lifestyle, because we want to help you be consistent and have sustainable changes. The reason we want to look at what you eat is because I want to mirror that as close as I can, because that will give you the highest chance possible that you are going to adhere to that if it is in line with foods you already like. Now, there's many diet plans out there, copy and paste, ChatGPT plans. It's easy to go and get one of them and look at it and think, that's great, it's probably not going to be personalised. Unless it's the foods that you actually eat all the time, you're not likely to stick at it. The goal here is to get a smart plan that fits your lifestyle. It helps you achieve your goals, and it is something that you can stick at for a lifetime. Now, thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next one.